So here, Brother W and Brother DA. Um, First off, to give you kind of an idea, Brother W, you know the conversation you were talking about of jumping in and out of trades. Been there, done that many a time, too many a time. What helped me over the last 10 years is just kind of knowing that there's an aspect of what's called statistics. That's all that matters. As long as you know statistics, all statistics do is basically it only really takes me like 3 or 4 minutes to put on a trade when I do my trades. It really doesn't take that much. I mean, I literally, I just analyze the market, boom, put on my trade, go about my day working on my other stuff. The thing is, when you have statistics in your favor, you don't have to worry about being right or wrong. See, trading's not about being right. It's not about wanting to go ahead and make a gang load of cash and, I beat the market. No, actually, that will lose you money. Okay, thinking that way. But if you have a thing of just statistics, for instance, I was talking to these brokers, and one of the brokers is a senior broker at a firm. It was funny because there was another metals broker who's like one of the head metals brokers. They're at the same firm but at different cities. And I didn't know that. It was kind of interesting talking to this guy, but he kind of flattered yours truly and said, "Hey man, you had all the cats, you know your stuff." In other words, brokers are looking for guys like like me and you and whatnot, for the fact that if you have good statistics and a good statistic driven situation, of course they're going to want to use that for high capital, for some hedge fund somewhere down the line, no doubt. But if you have something that's driven, of course they're going to like hanging out with you. It's like peas in a pod. You're making the firm look good. And of course brokers love commissions. But the thing is everything's about statistics. You won't have that emotional or that thought of why did I get in or out. No, it's just, again, when I do these sessions, and I may have a session here soon, what it is 9 times out of 10, all I do is I show nature channels, because animals are the most statistically driven species on the planet, other than weather. Okay, plants as well, because they do the same thing over and over and over, and they know what the results are going to be. Sometimes they win, sometimes they lose. Sometimes the animal gets some, but it doesn't worry and say, I'm not going to get that wildebeest because I'm going to get stopped out, I'm going to jump out. No, it knows every little statistic thing of what it has done throughout the dawn of time in order to end up with that wildebeest or that animal, or that fish if you're a dolphin. It just knows. The giraffe knows when it's time to go ahead and eat the tall, the leaves and the good things, because it just knows over a certain amount of time things have worked. Basically what it is by looking at the markets or looking at things that way. One of the brokers that I was talking to, he said, that most traders and whatnot, they make the vast amount of their capital on only 10% of their trades, which means that 90% of the time they're it's like their hunting statistics are not really as good as hyenas. Okay, I mean, in other words, but anyways, they still have they're able to do quite well on just the 10% that they have. Fortunately, yours truly has a methodology that is the reverse. 90% of the time plus, it will give you the results you want. The thing is it's, again, it's my grill, but I'm going to use it for myself, and this goes to another thing. A lot of times when folks are asking you for strategies or asking constantly, give me, what's your strategy? I want to know your grill. Give me that. And I want to know, let me tell you something. An individual that asks is an individual that does not trade. Okay? If you're asking, you're not trading. Bottom line. Okay? The thing is, it's one thing to have a strategy, and it took years, and what I mean by that, it took years to formulate. It's like a toothbrush. Okay? It's like, I like my toothbrush and I like my underwear. I don't like someone, I don't ask somebody, how do I put it on? How do I brush my teeth? No, that's literally what trading is. It's one good thing to say, okay, how did you build that toothbrush? Okay, so this is how you went about. It took years of looking at how, like these little green and red things on the chart, or an indicator of whatnot. All that is a decision maker. Remember, like this little RSI down here, all it does is an indicator indicates. It's like your car. You're not going to base your entire driving on just your turn signals. All it's doing is indicating, hey, I'm going to go left or I'm going to go right. But you're still going to make the decision to drive the car. That's all trading is. It's just it's about making statistically driven decisions and maximizing it in your favor. And fortunately, I've been able to figure something out that folks have been looking for since the 1930s. And, it works in my favor. The thing is, like when folks that, are constantly like, or if you're going from strategy to strategy to strategy, and I've developed a lot of strategies. What that did is it helped me look and develop to build my own house. Okay. Over the years, I had strategy here, strategy there, but what it was not a thing of like, I gotta use this one thing. What it was is it helped define, now I know how to look at things statistically. Now I know that if I'm looking at a MACD, 9 times out of 10 when I see this certain thing because of the buyers and sellers and how they want to look at the way that they're going and buying, they're going and selling. Now I know that, 9 times out of 10, I went back through charts to the 30s. I have charts that are going back, like 2 centuries. And I looked at things, I looked at weather. I looked at this, one of the guys I was on tour with who has a race car, and he had the statistics of how his driving was on the racetrack. I looked at all these things and said, no matter what indicator it is, you put any indicator in front of me, I don't care what it is, it'll tell you in time with a 90% accuracy when the market's going to turn in time. And with now I'm up to like almost 80% in price, which is my own grail. But it doesn't matter. The indicator's an indicator. You can put in a pitchfork. You can put in a trend line. Like if you had just one trend line, all this is a decision. Now I used to have a gang load of indicators, and I had the chart was just loaded. And for the long time, a lot of times folks do that because what you're doing is trying to find the decision. What is going to give you the best decision? But a lot of times folks don't look at it like this trend line. All that is a decision maker. That's all it is. It doesn't matter what you put on a screen. It's just a decision maker. Bollinger Bands. You give me, whatever it is. I don't care what it is. CCI, Arun, market profile. It doesn't matter what it is. They will all tell you, they have their own way of telling you with 90% accuracy where and when the market is going to turn. Or 80% where and 90 plus % when the market is going to turn. It's just the nature of trading. It's just the nature of nature. A lot of times folks will use the Fibonacci, which is the wrong name. It's called Kemet, which is what the real name should be. But, until we get back in control of things, the names will stand. But the thing is another thing is having a reason why you do what you do. A lot of folks go about it willy-nilly. Now, yours truly is about building institutions. I mentioned it briefly. Some educators and some, identity, for lack of a better term, institutions that, brothers and sisters, yours truly has been helping over the years. That's a reason. It gives the ability to say, okay, I'll buy their DVDs, or I might be able to buy this, or I might be able to do that for them, or, help, buy their books, or, put a school up, or whatever, You have to have a reason. Because a lot of times folks will, it's almost like an animal has a reason why it goes out to hunt. That usually helps. I'm not saying you got to, but it really, really helps. But again, what keeps you from jumping in and out of the trade, Brother W, is having statistics saying this is, anything you put on a chart or even looking at a chart is a decision. That's all these are, is the multitude. Right now, this is, I believe it's Occidental, Petroleum, which is OXY, millions of shares traded all the time on it. What it is there's millions of decisions going on. Every red decision was folks that sold, every green decision was folks that bought. But the thing is you can tell that over time, these decisions made macro decisions. Market went up, market went down, market went up, market went down. By looking at that, it could tell you, okay, I see something that's telling me that these decisions have something that is common. Therefore, I know when I want and where I want to buy in and out of the market. Hopefully that helps, and it'll help you from jumping in and out of the market or chasing strategies.